If you live in a city, think about how often you breathe near cars, buses, generators, and construction sites. Every breath feels normal. You do not choke. You do not cough all day. So you assume your lungs are fine. But city air changes how your lungs work, little by little, in ways most people never notice until years later. So what really happens inside your lungs when city air becomes the air you breathe every day? Cities produce more air pollution than rural areas. Traffic exhaust, fuel burning, factories, generators, road dust, and construction all release tiny particles into the air. Some of these particles are so small that you cannot see them, smell them, or feel them when you inhale. When you breathe in clean air, oxygen flows easily into your lungs and into your blood. When you breathe in polluted air, your lungs still try to do the same job, but they have to deal with extra material that does not belong there. Your lungs are not just empty balloons. They are living tissue. They react to what you put inside them. What happens in the first few days? During the first few days of breathing city air, your lungs go into protection mode. Tiny hairs inside your airways start working harder to push out dust and particles. Mucus production increases to trap what should not enter your lungs. This is why some people notice a scratchy throat, light coughing, or mild chest discomfort when they move to a busy city or spend more time outdoors. Exercise near traffic may feel slightly harder than expected. Most healthy people ignore this phase because the body adjusts quickly. Breathing still feels normal. What happens after the first week? After about a week, your lungs start to settle into the environment. But settling does not mean the air is harmless. It means your lungs accept that this is the air they must work with. Low-level irritation becomes constant. The lining of your airways stays slightly inflamed. This inflammation is not dramatic. It does not cause pain. It quietly narrows your breathing pathways just enough to make oxygen transfer a little less efficient. You may feel tired faster during physical activity. You may breathe deeper without realizing it. Some people feel heavier in the chest during rush hour or on days with visible haze. For people with asthma, allergies, or sensitive lungs, wheezing, coughing, or chest tightness may show up more often. What happens over several weeks? As weeks pass, the smallest pollution particles travel deeper into the lungs. Some are small enough to pass into the bloodstream. Once there, they trigger inflammation beyond the lungs. This is why air pollution links not only to lung problems, but also to heart issues. Your body treats pollution like a constant low-level threat. The immune system stays slightly active all the time. Your lungs also become more reactive. Cold air, smoke, perfumes, or dust may trigger coughing more easily than before. Your lungs are not damaged yet, but they are more sensitive. Breathing still works. You still function, but the lungs are working harder to maintain normal oxygen levels. Longer-term changes, over months and years, constant exposure slowly changes how lung tissue behaves. Airway walls may thicken slightly. Elasticity reduces a bit. This makes breathing less efficient as you age. For adults, this means lung capacity may decline faster than expected. For children, polluted air can slow lung development during critical growth years. These changes happen quietly. Most people never feel a sudden problem. The effect shows up gradually over decades. Why city living feels normal? The human body adapts extremely well. That is why city air feels normal after a while. You stop noticing smells. You stop noticing traffic exhaust. Your lungs adjust to keep you functioning. But adaptation does not mean zero cost. It means the lungs are constantly repairing, clearing, and calming inflammation. Factors that make it better or worse. Not all city air affects people the same way. Daily habits matter. Smoking, secondhand smoke, indoor cooking fumes, and poor ventilation increase the load on your lungs. On the other hand, spending time in green spaces, keeping indoor air clean, and staying physically active support lung function. Nasal breathing filters air better than mouth breathing. Clean indoor air gives your lungs recovery time. Living in a city does not ruin your lungs overnight. Instead, your lungs work harder every single day to keep you breathing normally. At first, they adapt. Over time, constant exposure adds strain. The outcome depends on air quality, lifestyle, and how much rest your lungs get from cleaner air.